Chancellor, the economy is flatlined for the first 5 months that you've been in government. You've got a budget which many at home think is going to be anti-growth and inflationary. How are you making a pitch to investors here that they should be putting money into the UK?
Well, the most recent numbers show that inflation is down a little bit and the economy is growing. But do I want to go further and faster on delivering economic growth? Absolutely, I do. And that's why this government have growth as the number one mission. And it's why I'm here in Davos to say loud and clear to investors around the world, come to Britain, do business in Britain. We want those jobs. We want that good investment because that's what makes working people in Britain better off.
You may want it and you may want them to come, but talk to them here, talk to big business at home. They are worried. The cost of employment you are putting up, isn't it? The reality is that they are going to face more costs in the UK than they would have done before you won the election.
If you look at the UK's taxation compared with countries around the world, we remain highly competitive. The lowest corporation tax in the G7 amongst European countries, some of the lowest employment taxes. So Britain is an attractive place to invest. Indeed, PricewaterhouseCoopers survey earlier this week showed that global CEOs see the UK as the second best place after the United States to invest in the world. And so we've got huge strengths as a country. And this government are reforming the planning system, reforming the regulation system, making it easier for businesses to get things done, all with the purpose of making working people better off. Because if we can attract more investment to Britain, if we can boost productivity in Britain, that puts up the wages of ordinary working people right across our country.
How do you answer the criticism of those at home who are going to be hit by these budgetary measures? You say they are going to have to spend more on employment, that they are going to hold back investment. Are they just wrong?
Well, first of all, working people won't see any increases in their pay slips when it comes to taxation. That was a commitment we made in the manifesto, and it's a commitment we're delivered in government. I'm not going to deny that the taxes of businesses and for some of the wealthiest have increased in the budget, but we faced a £22 billion black hole in the public finances when I became Chancellor, the inheritance left by the previous government. To bring stability back to the economy is something that businesses absolutely need to make investment decisions. It was necessary to make difficult decisions on welfare, on spending and taxation. I've now made those decisions, drawn a line under the economic and fiscal mismanagement of the previous government so that we can move forward and get with that growth agenda of regulating better, of reforming the planning system, reforming pensions, making it easier to build and get things done in Britain.
We have a new American president. You've been to China to talk to them about investment. You've visited European counterparts. What's your message to the US and American investors? And have you got plans to take that directly to the States?
Well, of course, I've already been to the US twice since I became Chancellor of the Exchequer, and Britain has a strong and close relationship, a special relationship with the United States. When my opposite number, Scott Bessent, is confirmed, I hope to meet him as soon as possible to talk to him about how we can work together to grow both our economies, improve trade and indeed improve our economic security.
Overnight, President Trump has talked about the EU needing tariffs. It's the only way they'll get fairness. A trade war opens up and tariffs are going back and forth. What's the UK's position going to be?
Well, I believe in free and open trade, and I'll be making that case to my counterparts in the United States. But I'm excited about the opportunity to work with the new Trump administration. Trade between the UK and the US is worth £300 billion a year. 1 million Brits work for American firms. 1 million Americans work for British firms. So our economies are closely intertwined, and I look forward to enhancing and strengthening that relationship.
The truth, though, that outside the EU, the UK is effectively powerless in this fight, and if tariffs are levied on the UK, there's not much you can do in response.
Well, the UK has a trade deficit with the United States. The President Trump is concerned about the trade surpluses that countries around the world are running with the United States. That's not the case for the UK. And so we will work with the Trump administration to get a good deal for Britain and make the case as well for the continuation of that strong trade and investment relationship between our two great countries.
Okay, the year started with market wobbles, much of it international, I accept, but there was a risk premium, it looked like, on the UK. We know borrowing in December was higher. You must know whether you're on course to eat up the headroom and break your fiscal rules. What is the position?
Well, the Office of Budget Responsibility do an independent forecast, and they'll publish that on March the 26th. But I've been really clear, our fiscal rules are non-negotiable. We will meet those fiscal rules to balance day-to-day spending with tax receipts and to get debt down as a share of our economy. But we are growing the economy, and growing the economy is the best way to ensure that our finances are sustainable and we bring good jobs, paying decent wages to Britain.